What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. Whew, what am I saying? I'm already fumbling my words.
Someone's drunk.
Yes. My name is JS. This is my buddy Jeff. And we've got a guest tonight. Shadowstorm Cosplay. Brooke.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad. How about you guys?
Doing good, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
No problem. It's been a long and busy day, but it's all good. I get tomorrow off, so I get to snooze.
Yes, exactly. I think we're all happy we're getting tomorrow off, or at least most of us are. Mr. Messiah Complex Cosplay.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, so good. For
Yeah.
anybody that wasn't with us on the technical difficulties pre-show, today is a very special day for a certain member of the Geeks & Co team.
It sure is.
It's producer Jen's birthday.
The one that specifically is now even turned off her camera so that even if I try to bring her on screen, I can't. She's a smart one.
She's cut on to our chicanery, but yes, everybody, if you have a chance, wish our wonderful, with whom we would not be here, producer Jen, a very, very happy birthday. That is today, and she has not had the world's best day. So if you could throw her some cheers.
No, she's had a pretty shitty day today. So you know,
I feel that mood.
Yeah, and now she's stuck with us idiots for a while, and then
not me, but you two. But
so well, fair enough. So yeah, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You should just be on the friggin' podcast because you run the friggin' podcast. Without you, I say it all the time, there is no podcast. There's no Geeks & Co.
There's no Geeks & Co. Yeah, I don't know.
So, know you are appreciated and we love what you do for us.
Oh, we got to thank you.
You got a bunch of people saying happy birthday in the chat now. So, Jen, you can see them all. Oh, there she goes. She's already in the chat.
All the love.
She's already in the chat.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, there they are. Oh, look at that, you guys.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on. We've got a bunch of trailers this week.
Yep.
There's some rumblings that are going around that we spoke about a little bit on our new segment called The After Show, although it's not really a new segment anymore.
No, I mean, we're 8 episodes in, I guess now, right?
Yeah, so it's not really a new segment anymore. Well, we're 8 episodes in on Picard, but we're also 6 episodes in on Star Wars: The Mandalorian.
That's right.
Yeah, go check those out. They're pretty neat. It's just me and the old guy. And with the old guy, I mean this guy. Just rambling off about Star Wars and Star Trek. You know, the two.
You shit.
Our two favorite stars.
And by the way, a real special shout out to so we have producer Jen. Do we call her editor Megan? Maybe she's editor Megan. Yeah. Editor Megan for taking us two old rambling idiots for I don't know how long and paring it down to something palatable for the masses to consume. It's same thing, man. We would not be putting out all this content that we're putting out right now without Megan. So big shout out to her today as well.
Yep. We are going to talk a little bit about. I feel we have to talk a little bit about Star Trek.
Okay,
so good.
That's your territory. I'm a Star Wars nerd. I've only seen
so
tiny bits of Star Trek.
Very good.
I watched a little bit of what did I watch? Well, Next Generation, obviously on TV, and oh wow, I don't remember now.
Really made an impact on you, Brooke.
Yeah, well, with Jane as the captain.
Oh, with Janeway, Voyager.
Yeah, Voyager. That was it. Yeah, I only watched that because one of my close friends at that time was like obsessed with it. So when I would go at her house, she's like, "We're watching this." I'm like, "All right, fine."
Yeah, I feel like Star Trek has been on a decline for me since Deep Space Nine. I know for Jeff it's been since Next Gen, but for me, after Deep Space Nine, it started falling off the rails, and now it's so good again. We're getting such amazing Star Trek. I'm frigging loving it. Did you I don't want to assume how old you are, but did you grow up on Star Wars? Is that something that I don't know if you have any siblings and such? And
I have an older brother.
Yeah.
I was alive when Return of the Jedi came out. How's that sound?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm 43. So
yeah. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah,
so fair enough.
Yeah. And the cartoons, yes, Thor is worth it. Yes, I grew up watching droids and Ewoks, even though there were only like I think like 10 episodes max, and they just played them on repeat like every week. That's pretty much how all the 80s cartoons were.
Now you're I think you're more of a Marvel fan.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. You're a big No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm more of a Marvel fan than anything. Even just growing up, like my brother, he always read like Spider-Man comics and stuff like that. Like the big thing I remember when he was a kid and I was a kid was the wedding. That was always the big thing in the comics that was happening and stuff. So, but DC, I've watched the original like Keaton Batman movies and stuff like that. Like I've kept up with all the Batman movies. Keaton ones are the best. But DC, I haven't been able to just grasp into it yet. I've still got to get caught up on some of that. So,
have you watched any of the DC animation stuff?
Yes.
That's where it's at.
Well, I watched some of the original stuff that came out to like DVD back when Blockbuster was around. The Wonder Woman. Yeah, the Wonder Woman straight to DVD. I loved that. That was so good.
Very, very good one. Very good as the other ones. Yep.
So good. But yeah,
Under the Red Hood is definitely one that's the key one to check out, because that's
definitely watch that one.
Top of the mountain for the DC animated stuff. So
yep.
It
kind of almost capped off an era of DC animation that we haven't really gotten since. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite something back in those days.
I really like some of the more modern interpretations though too, like especially like The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. I thought they did a really good job. Very faithful adaptation to the source material, which is one of the best Batman stories ever told. So very cool.
See, like I remember like back when I was like an early teenager, the big thing at that time was Mask of the Phantasm. That was in theaters.
Ed just said that.
Snowhawk's got you. Best DC animated still Mask of the Phantasm.
There we
go. That's hilarious. Ed just mentions that as you say that. Yeah.
But like it's insane now, the amount of superhero stuff that's literally being thrown at us. Like me growing up, it was Star Wars, and then like my brother grew up, like I had an older brother, so I had to watch a lot of like G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff. But even as far as like superhero movies, like the only real kind of trilogy we had back in the 80s was Superman, the original Supermans. And then like the first actual Marvel movie was Howard the Duck, which I loved, despite it being a total flop.
Oh, Howard the Duck was iconic back in the day.
Oh, heck yeah.
Just the movie didn't do very well. I found it a guilty pleasure movie as well, but yes, it did not do very well at all.
No, it's one of those cult classic movies, and it's like, you know what? I still love it to this day.
So, Brooke, what was your gateway into cosplay? I mean, obviously, when me and you met, you were in cosplay. You were Grogu.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
At London Comic Con last summer. Last fall, I guess. No, it was summer. No, whatever.
September.
October.
Early. Was
early October. Yeah.
Early October. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my entry into cosplay was hey, there's me as Grogu. That's actually up in Timmins from last year. The 501st had one of their setups going, and they had more than enough fun, just like me, come over there and just, ransacking everything. But how I got involved with cosplay was way back in 2001. This is how long I've been doing it. I discovered, before it was Fan Expo, it was Toronto Comic Con / CN Anime at Toronto. And I knew I wanted to go to it because I was heavily into anime at that point. And I just seen from, searching around the internet and stuff like that people were making costumes. And I'm like, you know what? I want to try that. So my very first costume, which I made in probably a couple of weeks and didn't even last me a day, was Yuna from Final Fantasy X, the video game. And I was even ballsy enough to even go in the costume contest with it. So that's how I started. Second year, again, I kind of focused more on anime costumes for the first, I don't know, I want to say almost 5 to 10 years. And then I branched out. Rocket was kind of my first one that I branched out into like non-Marvel or not non-anime into like Marvel and superheroes and OC characters and stuff like that. So there's Rocket. That's one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. I mean, I need to know first of all, what's going on here? Did you make a full fursuit that you dressed up and like what's like?
Steven says, I freaking love the Rocket. Basically the suit, the fur actually goes from my knees down to my feet and from my shoulders down to my wrists. And what it is I actually have a pair of leggings underneath that I sewed the fur onto from the knees, and then with the shirt, a long sleeve like workout shirt. Basically, that's how I did that. The jumpsuit was made using a tank top that fit me and a pair of cargo pants that would fit me, and I basically laid those out to make the pattern. And then I had the zipper and all the other details and stuff. So that's, and then the gloves were just a pair of cheap gloves that I covered in fur. The shoes were a pair of just cheap shoes that I actually extended the toes on them using foam, and then using foam clay basically shaped the toes and everything and covered the whole things in fur. As for the mask, I actually have another one here. It is the kid's toy mask from the first movie. So there it is.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the mask is. So, and when you open the mouth, his ears wiggle and the eyebrows go.
That's hilarious.
So what I did with this is I literally took tracing paper and I went over all the contours and everything, cut out fur for those, and attached that on with glue. So that's how I did the Rocket mask. And then I made a hood for the back and fleshed out the ears and such. So this is going to be part of Rocket 2.0. I've got literally a bag of Rocket over here. He's just fur and leather and everything else.
So that was going to kind of be my next question. And sorry, Jeff, I know I'm the one talking here and I'm not letting you ask your questions, but I'm intrigued about this Rocket here. There's a lot of fur.
Yes.
There's a lot of fur. So where are you getting this fur? Like what is it? Like a blanket? Is it like?
No, I actually got it from Fabric. Was it Fabric? No, European Textiles down on Ottawa Street in Hamilton. You can buy just faux fur, and it ranges in price. It can be fairly cheap, like $10 a meter, up to like $50 plus a meter. And actually, rip into this right beside me. I can get into it. This is some of the fur for New Rocket. So yeah. So you buy it by the meter and everything. So it is a pain in the butt to work with because like anything with fur, it sheds like the dickens and it will get all over you and all over everything.
Yeah, I mean, I bet. And you have to be careful how you cut that.
Yeah,
right? Because when you
cut just the backing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I can see how that amount of fur. That's going to be a pain in the butt to work with. I mean, that's craziness. Hot.
Yes, actually, I did almost overheat in that costume the first time I took it to Fan Expo.
I believe it.
This is I'm not having fun. I'm not having fun, but in my head, I'm going, whee!
This is awesome.
That was at Con Bravo a few years ago. They had this random kiddie pool with like balls in it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna sit in this thing. I've got a whole bunch of pictures of me in this thing. So
I tell you, the one that the memory that always sticks out to me the most was the after party at the Rec Room. I think. It was. I don't know if it was after Fan Expo or if it was after Toronto Comic Con. I don't remember which one it was.
Fan Expo.
Fan Expo. And they had a stage and everything else. And then Sean Ward got up and he was like with a band essentially and was performing live.
Yep, we were the Guardians.
Venue, and then had the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Brooke is a professional singer.
Yep.
And she was on stage in Rocket in that costume, singing live on stage in the costume. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like it was like bonkers. Because the mouth moves and shit. So it looks like she's like actually singing up there in a rocket. Yeah, no, it was bananas.
There we go. Jen pulled up the picture. There we go.
Yeah. Like
so that was the Guardians band. We got to do 3 shows. So we did 2 Fan Expos, and actually after the first show, we were invited to the Ubisoft Christmas party. So that was a blast.
So you were the entertainment at their Christmas party.
We were, well, one of the entertainers. They also had like a fire spinner there too. So
that's awesome.
But we were the musical entertainment.
There's a Mjolnir behind you.
Yes, there's my Mjolnir. And a Groot.
and a Groot.
And my Thor costume.
Yes. I want to maybe take a second here and segue quickly. Our buddy Eric. I don't know what his... Oh, it is Thor is Worthy here on YouTube. Yes. Guys, our buddy Eric, he's been on the podcast before. He's actually raffling off a handmade, one-of-a-kind Mjolnir. So if you want to participate, guys, in the raffle, go check him out. DM him directly on Instagram at Thor is Worthy. He's gonna set it up as a pool style where he's gonna have a board with numbers and you can buy numbers and there's only gonna be a limited amount of numbers.
The numbers are on small Mjolnirs on the board. I saw it.
Oh, you've seen it already. There you go.
I saw it on his stories.
There you go. So guys, if you're interested in winning yourself a Mjolnir, go support our boy Thor is Worthy over here.
Sorry, what's it called, Jess? What is it?
Mjolnir.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right.
There it is.
That's nice. Yeah.
What did I say?
It was just very French Mjolnir. That's fine. That's okay.
Mjolnir. Mew. Okay, here we go.
That's right.
Here we go.
For $15.
All right, you know what, guys? Don't go support Thor is Worthy here. He's making fun of me in the chat here. So, you know.
Yes. $15 a number. Any number can win.
Yeah.
Enter the draw.
A limited amount, so there's only 20 slots, right? So you buy one of the slots.
Yeah, that's this by the but if you know, you know. Okay. The Jonathan reference. If you know, you know. No, CJS doesn't know. Yeah,
it's like $15, and you can be worthy. You don't even have to worry about.
Oh, do you not understand the Jonathan reference either?
No.
Okay. They were asking the entire cast and crew of whichever Avengers was how do you pronounce Thor's hammer's name? And they're all like, Mir. And Paul Rudd says, Jonathan is how Paul Rudd pronounces it. So that's
I see.
We all call it Jonathan. I can't believe you guys understand
that. Exactly I don't remember that. No.
Okay, I have not seen that bit. I'll have to go find that.
Megan Avery, well done. Good job. Good job on that reference. I'm the only one that got it, but I'm just a bigger geek than these guys are. That's all.
Oh, here we go.
Just a bigger geek. So while we're talking about Marvel, this seems like a good time to segue to
trailers.
Like what okay, hold on. Do we start with the Marvel? Yes, so I think we should probably start with Secret Invasion because that I feel like is going to be the most impactful for everybody when it comes to what the MCU is going to happen on that. Because I get the sense that this is going to be similar to the Winter Soldier, where whatever happens in this is going to have a huge impact on everything moving forward. Are you guys kind of getting the same sense from watching this trailer?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because we're finally getting the actual Sam Jackson back as Nick Fury. And I mean, of course, Sam Jackson's been playing him in the other movies, but we learned that it was in fact Talos that was impersonating him. So don't
Nick
actually
Fury is
know.
Back.
Yes, we see him coming off of a fucking spaceship, like he was in space. What we don't actually know at this point, which I'm sure we'll learn, is how long has he actually been? Like, what was the last actual appearance in the MCU of actual Nick Fury? I've seen a few theories going around, but there's no one that actually knows when he last appeared.
I thought they made a reference to that in this trailer.
She mentions that she's called him and he's let her go to voicemail and he says he's back and everything else, but I don't think they specifically state when the last time he was on Earth as Fury. So, yeah.
Now I'm going to have to go rewatch it because I didn't catch that.
No, the story is old as time, right? Like, I mean,
it is
essentially Invasions of the Body Snatchers, right? These guys can look like anybody.
Yeah.
I trust no one. In fact, JS, I meant to mention this to you, and I know, Brooke, I know you're a little bit on the outside of this, but honestly, the parallels between Secret Invasion and Star Trek Picard is hilarious.
Yeah, it
An
really
old
is.
warrior coming out of retirement has to battle things that can look like anybody. and have deeply infiltrated the hierarchy of whatever's going on. Like, it's hilarious, the parallels between the two things.
But it's not a new concept. That's what I said.
It's Invasion of the Body
regurgitated
Snatchers.
concept.
100%.
Like, yeah,
but at least it is taken from like a comic of that name and nature as well. Like, Secret Invasion is something that happened in Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And it was this. There wasn't a good and a bad sect of Skrulls. They were all bad. There wasn't like these nice Skrulls. They were all bad. But at least this is something that we have seen from the comics, a la like a Civil War or whatever, that they're adapting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's gonna be an adaptation, right, guys? If you're familiar with the Secret Wars comics, don't expect that that's what you're gonna see in the show.
Yeah, and same with Secret Invasion. Yeah, you're not going to get a 1-for-1. They never.
Sorry, I meant Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I know. They never do a 1-for-1, right? Age of Ultron was not.
We're ages away from Secret Wars still, but
yeah, exactly. So
it's like, come on, Squirrel Girl beat Ultron. Like, sorry, not Ultron, Thanos. So Squirrel would beat Thanos. Come on.
I don't know, man. It looks good. It looks like they're kind of shying away from the silliness and the, like I said, it's got mad Winter Soldier vibes. Like, it seems like it's taking itself very seriously, which I feel like the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs that right now, because so much of what's been coming out lately just seems ridiculously silly.
Well, and I'm finding just with the Marvel Universe in general, it's let's throw as much into people as we can. Like, the last few years, with exception of 2020, there's been at least 4 to 5 movies coming out every single year. So, and every single one is tied into this and tied into that and so it's just, it gets exhausting after a while just to try to keep up with all the storylines. It's like, but you have to have watched this in order to understand what's happened here and here and here. It's like, holy cow, overload, guys. Like, yes.
Well, especially with Disney Plus, right? Because now you got all the TV series as well. They're trying to fill gaps in between.
Yeah. Like, I going back, sorry, to the like early like 90s and stuff like that, or like late 90s, like the Batman trilogy, the original Batman trilogy, you could watch each one as a standalone. And it would be fine. Like, you wouldn't be totally confused. Like, why is this person here? As long as you had a basic understanding, Batman's the good guy. These guys are the bad guys. Go nuts. Like, it just, I'm finding it's oversaturated.
It's very oversaturated.
Yeah. And it's losing its appeal to people. Take a look, like, take a look at the Eternals. The movie was okay, but like, people are like, huh? Like,
I personally think they missed the boat on Eternals. I think Eternals is a fantastic movie. It was a movie that didn't really fit in with the rest of the MCU. It wasn't quippy, it wasn't goofy, it was a little bit too deep into whatever. And that's fine. Like, not everyone's gonna be a banger. I'm telling you, man,
would have been a great DC movie.
A fantastic DC movie. But go check out the first 10 MCU films and tell me those were all bangers.
Oh no, those were. Yeah.
No,
absolutely not. So
Iron Man's the one that started off the whole damn thing. They're like, people.
And then Iron Man 2 was shit, and then Thor was good, but then Thor 2 was shit, and that, you know what I mean? Like, not everything that was coming out then was just absolutely fantastic, but it still felt important because there was only 2 or 3 movies a year, and now
like Batman and Robin. What?
We're getting inundated with stuff, right? So yeah, Eternals is like, Ed's my boy, man. This is why Ed and I are brothers, right there. Eternals is epic.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, because you're looking at, like, they would bring out like a couple of movies a year to, like, now it's, you basically have a movie every quarter that you got to keep up with if you want to understand the grand scheme of things. And it's like, then you add on the TV series and then the Disney Plus series, and it's like, holy cow. Like,
well, that's where they start losing people, right? There's so many layers to the onion that once you miss a couple peels.
And now that they've delved into the multiverse thing, it's just like, okay, now we've opened a can of worms, because now you have, but this person exists in this like multiverse, but they can exist here.
For me, that was their way out. See, for me, the multiverse was their way out to be able to say we can do whatever we want and we don't have to tie it into anything, right?
Yeah, but
not everything needs to be tied into the Avengers. But this is the glue that's bringing it all back together now.
No, they're trying to make Kang into the glue that's going to kill all this together.
Yeah,
that is what they're trying to
I
do.
think that this show is going to take a turn this show is going to destroy the platform of what we know of the MCU right now, because now we're going to start finding out that people that we thought were good guys are not good guys at all. Right?
Oh, we go into the grayscale.
Yeah. So no, they're going to be Skrulls.
No, they're going to be Skrulls.
They're imposters, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to turn the MCU upside down, I think. And in the style and feel of the Winter Soldier, of that spy thriller, I don't know. I'm really liking what I see, even though, Jeff, and I don't know if you're okay with me saying this because you said this in confidence.
That's okay.
In a group chat.
That is okay. Wait, I don't know if it's okay. What are you going to say?
I also feel a little bit let down by this trailer versus the first one.
Agreed.
This trailer itself, as much as I like the idea and the concept, and I'm really looking for it for the show, the trailer was a little like
comparatively.
I don't know what it was missing. Comparatively,
if this had been the first trailer and the first trailer had been the second trailer,
yes.
But that first trailer was so amazingly well done and well put together and paced and lit and the music and everything. And this trailer was.
Jeff having internet troubles again?
Yeah, it looks like we're losing Jeff again.
There we go. So we got him back.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey.
All right. Everything was fine on my end, so I don't know. I'm hoping I don't get booted off again, guys. Everybody cross your fingers and pray to whatever internet god you believe in. But
it looked like you had a stroke. You're just kind of.
Well, I mean, I'm of that age. No. Here's the thing: as underwhelming as that second trailer was, there have to be some major imposters that we find out, because otherwise there's no point in having this television show.
There has to be,
right? There's got to be at least one or two like oh my god, they were Skrull all along, right?
And something that's gonna lead us to the eventual end game. It's like
yeah, I mean, I think you know what? No, and there's a reason why Rhodey is in this and why he's been featured in all the marketing, because I think this is actually taking us to Armor Wars.
Okay.
Armor Wars is where everything I think is gonna get burned to the ground, and then we're gonna rebuild from that with bringing Kang in and really heading towards the Kang dynasty, right?
With Kang and the multitude of Kangs.
Yeah, because we need a new team of Avengers, right?
Yes.
So we need to build a new team of Avengers. This is the beginning of that, I think.
The problem I think they're having right now is the original Avengers, everybody knew who they were. Like they were just, classic comic heroes and everything like that. Then now if they're with the new Avengers, unless you're diehard into the comics, like the average Joe Schmo, they're not going to know who these people are. And therefore, I don't know if they're going to be as invested in them as they were with the originals. That's my fear with this whole thing, is they're throwing so many characters and everything at us that it's like we're not getting enough time to really absorb. Like
agree with, but not the original concept. The average Joe Schmo on the street had no idea who Thor was, had no idea who Iron Man was. They were C and D list heroes before Marvel gave them their own films to get us to know those characters. That's why each one of them had an origin film. No. But
I know what they were before that.
You said
no.
Brooke, you said the average Joe on the street. We're not talking about us. The average Schmo on the street had no idea who these people were. Marvel took the time to introduce us to those characters, but not in a shove it in our face completely all the time every 2 weeks way, but in like, here's two major films that are going to show you these characters, and we're going to build them up in their own franchises. And then if they don't, you can't just do the Avengers.
No,
the first film.
Oh no,
nobody goes and sees the Avengers if the other films don't happen.
You have to have those introductory films for the regular people on the street that now know who Captain America and Thor and Iron Man are.
Yeah.
They had no idea who those characters were before those films came out. None.
Because let's be honest, for the people on the street, it's Batman, Superman, Spider-Man.
Yep.
Right?
Those are the main ones.
Right?
Me, that's all
to
that
a certain
really
extent, the X-Men. Because the X-Men
and Wonder Woman as well.
Wonder Woman. And the Hulk, because
and the Hulk
again,
to an extent. Yeah.
But Hulk and Wonder Woman because of the 80s TV shows, because parents grew up with that and they've introduced
exactly. But beyond that, I mean, right? Like, and even in comic book sales, when you're looking at the comic books that Marvel was selling back, especially back in the 90s, the golden age of comics.
Yeah.
I mean, it was X-Men. Yeah. And it wasn't just X-Men, right? It was Uncanny X-Men, X-Men, Funny X-Men,
X-Force,
yeah, and then you had the X Factor, the X-Force, and the Gen X, and it was
talking about the heyday of comics and stuff like that. I just remember watching the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, and I was thrilled to see Spider-Ham because I remembered Spider-Ham from when I was a little kid. And I was like,
thank you for the segue. I think we need to talk about the Spider-Verse trailer because that one was...
you know what's funny?
Go ahead.
But I wanted to talk about, too, real quick, when we're talking about the multiverse in the MCU, part of the issue that I'm having with the multiverse in the MCU is kind of what we're talking about is we're being inundated with it across so many different properties and done so many different. So every Spider-Man looks different, but every Doctor Strange looks the same. Like, it's so weird. You know who's doing the multiverse right? Spider-Verse is doing the multiverse right.
Yes.
Because it's contained.
It's contained within its own thing. It's not spreading off into so many different storylines. It's literally Miles Morales and his multiverse basically. So that's it.
Crazy. This trailer, I'm telling you, this is one of the best trailers I've ever seen. It is so good.
What got me was the animation on this because I'm an animation nerd. I've studied animation. I wanted to be an animator. Didn't have the drawing skills, but I've been studying animation since I was in high school. And the animation style they used on this was just something so fresh that I had not seen before. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
And it looks even better in the trailer.
Film.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I literally just finished watching the first film again, right before we came on, and you even if you've watched it a bunch of times, you forget. It won Best Picture for a reason for animated.
Oh, exactly. I'm always a diehard fan of the stop motion animation stuff like that. But this, even being CG'd and everything like that, which is the way everything's going, it just was a fresh way of taking it. Just how they did the action and everything, and the shading and everything is just it's like, oh my God, I love it.
The Spots. Yeah, so this is the rumored main villain of the new film is the Spot. And if you know
he's not going to be the main villain.
No, because in the comics, by the way, the Spot is not a new character. The Spot is in the comics, and in the comics, he's a bit of a joke throughout his entire comic run. He's never been a major spider villain, but he does have a unique ability as he can open up these little portals through different dimensions. And obviously that's going to play into what's going on in this particular film. Can we talk about Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099? Because how dope does he look? Oh my Lord. So for those that are uninitiated, Marvel had a whole line of 2099 comics back in the day, back in the early aughts and late 90s, early aughts. I have a lot of them I was collecting at the time, and Spider-Man 2099 was easily the best title of the ones that came out.
It was the only good one, and was the longest running one too.
I did like Doom. I'm not gonna lie, I did appreciate Doom 2099 and some early Grant Morrison work as well, so I did enjoy that. But yeah, the Spider-Man one, very cool. The Miguel O'Hara character, very cool. So he looks like essentially the main antagonist of this particular film. He's voiced by Oscar Isaac, who is now, I guess, he's everywhere doing everything. Yeah. So I love the 29 comics. Not quite Pedro
Pascal height, but he's getting there.
Yes.
That's interesting, Ed. Not digging him in the trailer. I'd be curious as to your thoughts as to why you're not thinking Miguel is. I think they're doing a brilliant job with Miguel. He was always a lot edgier than Peter. He's got the fangs. He's got the actual claws. He was. Yeah, I mean,
there we go.
Come on, man! That looks. So spilling some beans. I'm getting this costume. So, anyways, our friend Reed's Props Plus has this suit. It doesn't quite fit him. It will likely fit me. So Reed and I are gonna do a little exchange. He's gonna take my money, and I'm gonna take his suit. And...
Take my money.
Hang on. Jen, please don't. Keep this picture here for a second. Is this an actual screenshot from the trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize Vulture was in this trailer.
So again, you've got Spider-Verse. So this is a variant,
it's a variant
of Vulture.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Into the Spider-Verse is, I want to say, my favorite Spider-Man movie.
It's fantastic.
It's
of all the Spider-Man movies,
so good.
I think it's my favorite. And this looks like it's going to be better. Like, it looks amazing. And yes, they're going to make him the antagonist.
It seems like it, right?
Yeah, which is a little bit weird, right? Because yes, as much as he's a little bit of an edgier character, a little darker, a little more violent, I don't know, making him the bad guy.
But I think it's important to note, and I think it's maybe given away. And by the way, this wouldn't be spoilers because the movie's not even out yet. But it's clear there ends up being a moral choice that has to be made. He literally says you can save one life, or you can save
everybody,
save everyone in every world.
Yeah.
Someone has to decide, make that hard decision, and it's Miguel that makes it. So I get the sense that he's the antagonist, but only because he feels he has to be to save the multiverse, to save the Spider-Verse, as opposed to save the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one, right? So
exactly.
I think that's why I think he's thrust into that role, because he's so passionate about it. And I think it's given away in this trailer as to why, because I think he's got a little, I don't know if you remember, Kingpin is the protagonist of the first film, and his whole deal is trying to get his wife and kid back using the multiverse.
Yeah.
There's a shot in this second trailer of Miguel seeing his wife and daughter on a screen, and it's assumed that they have died. And he's specifically not he's not doing what Kingpin was doing in the first. So
the thing is, I'm feeling like that was like using the multiverse to basically rewrite your own history and everything like that is now being like commonly used. So it was done in Multiverse of Madness. Even over in the DC universe, you have it with the new the Flash movie coming out. Like literally, like it's like, as much as I appreciate the whole multiverse storylines and everything like that, it's like, okay, yes, we get it. You want to use the multiverse to go and erase and, fix something you did in the past. It's like, I'd like a different spin on it. Be like, okay, so like, I don't know. That's just me though.
I feel like this is that different spin, right? That we've never seen before. And I totally understand what you're saying. DC and Marvel, DC and Marvel have been doing this for decades, right? They tapped into the multiverse decades ago, and they've been doing, reboots for years, right? Using the multiverse to explain different characters and go in different areas and do different things,
or bring three Spider-Mans together,
or you know what I mean? And that's fine. As long as you're not using it to a point where you're just constantly hitting me on the head with the same fucking hammer, right? Like, as long as it stays fresh, then I'm okay with it. Oh, okay, the meme, I can't believe you pulled that up. This, for me, when I saw this, I busted out laughing.
I laughed. It was so
good. I was
good.
Like, okay.
Well, because he literally, but the scene right before that, he's like, all stations, stop Spider-Man. And then there's a pause, and then they all get the message. They're like, wait, you. 8 million Spider-Man in there.
Oh, I know, that was so good. No, what I'm just finding is that with a lot of movies, not just superhero movies, but a lot of movies nowadays, they're predictable. They're so predictable. It's like, I've seen this storyline in, slightly different, ways and everything like that forever and a day. And it's like, there's no new concepts anymore, which sucks because I'd love to have something new. Yes, literally write themselves out of a corner.
Aaron is saying that that was their way of writing themselves out of a corner, and it really was, right? And they just kept using it and using it and using it, and they're still using it, right? Now they're doing it in the movies.
But I feel like Spider-Verse is the exception to the rule, because I feel like that's not what was happening in the first one, and it doesn't look like that's what's happening here. So
no. They're really embracing the Spider-Verse in these movies, right? It's not about writing yourself out of a corner as much as it is exploring, bringing Spider-Ham in.
Yay, right? Spider-Ham.
Right,
and Spider-Man Noir.
Spider-Man Noir is pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty dope.
That was really neat, right? How they're using it to develop story. They're not using it to write themselves out of a story.
Right.
Right.
Agreed.
That's the way I feel about that. difference there. But anyway, yeah.
Anyways, continuing up.
Because I think especially in the first movie, at the beginning of the movie, it's Miles is in Brooklyn and he gets bit by a spider and he gets spider powers. And at the end of the movie, it's Miles in Brooklyn with spider powers. Like there's nothing, like there's no, you know what I mean? Like they're not using it to try to fob something new or different or weird on us. It's literally like this is this kid's story.
It's the introduction of Miles. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's that guy's story, and that's who we follow throughout. And that's, to me, what the most important part of the whole thing is. They don't use Miles like Doctor Strange. They don't use Miles to get other people's stories across. Yeah. It's Miles' story. And as long as they keep that, I think that's the key difference in what it should be moving forward. But we'll see. This movie might be poop, guys. We don't know. But, I mean, the trailer is a banger. So.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a banger. It slaps.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Interesting take from Brother Ed here. He's talking about, I think Superior Spider-Man should be the main antagonist catalyst in the movie. The comic is based on Doc Ock Spidey. I think that one's now again. So for those of you that don't know, Peter Parker died briefly, and Dr. Otto Octavius put his mind into Peter's body and was Spider-Man for a time, and he ended up being changed. This is all in the comics. The concept was weird, but it was actually received pretty well because it was written really, really well. But I still think it's still a little bit too weird of a concept for the movies themselves and for kids to get behind.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
Listen, it's a weird concept to begin with, that a guy that's as evil and as twisted as Doc Ock, because now he's doing some good, becomes a superhero and a good guy. Like, come on, man. Like, he's a supervillain, for crying out loud.
Not to mention that the Doc Ock in this universe is not, it's a woman. By the way,
in his universe,
costume.
Yes,
yeah. So very, very cool costume. I would love to. I haven't seen a cosplay of that yet. I would love to see a cosplay of that. We have someone in the chat here who has an amazing Dr. Octopus cosplay. I don't know if you know who that is, but it's my buddy JS.
Oh, who, me? Oh, more.
Ah, you. Oh yes, my
God. My Doc Ock's okay.
Oh my God.
My Doc Ock's okay. You only think it's good because you think I look like him, but that's okay.
No, but that's
Ed.
That's part of it. Doc Ock was the only one to live Peter's life better than Peter. Yeah.
Like
I said, I understand it was written
well.
I don't know that it would necessarily translate well on screen, Ed. I mean, I'd be willing to give it a shot, but I do like that they brought Miguel O'Hara in, and he's like the leader of the spider team, whatever you want to call them. Well,
they spoiled that at the end of the last movie, right? I mean, that was the
he's in at the very end doing the meme, like he's the pointy guy or whatever. But yeah.
No, you see him put the suit on.
Who?
Miguel.
Oh, do you?
Did you not see the end credit scene of Spider-Verse?
No. I'll have to watch it now.
Oh, my God. Okay. Now
How dare you?
Are you serious?
It's a Marvel movie. What do you expect?
It's a Sony movie. It is not, in fact, a Marvel movie. It is a Sony movie. So they don't always have end credit Sony movie ones. So.
Okay. Okay, Jeff, you've watched the trailer how many times now? Approximately, off the top of your head?
50, at least.
Okay. So 50 times.
Yeah.
Brooke, how many times did you watch it so far?
Good 2-3 times already, just today.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it probably 3 or 4 times, but I didn't rewatch it today. So, Jeff, fire off quickly. Different versions of Spider-Man that you noticed, that you recognized.
They do have a couple of superior Spider-Man suits. There was definitely the PS4 Spider-Man. I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I saw the manga Spider-Man, which is a rare one. Spider-Punk, obviously, we got a good shot of Spider-Punk.
Yeah, we get a good shot of him.
Spider-Man India makes a vocal appearance.
There's Spider-Punk.
There's Spider-Punk right there. In fact, there's Spider-Man India literally right behind him. That's Spider-Man
there you
India
go.
right there.
Oh, okay,
Yep. I saw the Future Foundation suit in the background.
What was that one?
When she says this is the lobby and you had all the crisscrossing. Sorry, which one is the Future Foundation suit?
Yeah,
the white suit with the black accents.
Right.
When he joined the Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Right.
What other suits did I see? I saw so many friggin' suits. What about you guys? Were there any that you caught that I didn't just mention? Oh my God! Of course, Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Robbie's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Yes, Scarlet Spider. And Scarlet Spider, by the way, drawn almost exactly like he looks in the comics. By the way.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Well, they all look like they look in the comics.
That one's
amazing.
Really he looks exactly like he looks in the comics. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can't believe I forgot Scarlet Spider. That's crazy.
I'm trying to think
killed.
who else
Bad.
now.
Yeah, I know. Very bad.
So there are so many. Any villains other than Vulture and the Spot that you noticed?
I did not see. No, but I was really watching for spiders. I wasn't really. I wasn't watching for. Oh yeah, and the new Spider-Woman. Yes.
Oh yes.
A very pregnant one, by the way, which is interesting.
Oh,
and
really?
Of course, hold on, we can't forget my all-time favorite Spider-Man. Peter B. Parker comes back in this film as well.
Yes, Peter.
Peter B. Parker is back. That's
Parker
right.
Is me. I am him. We are one. That is my.
I love Peter B. Parker.
He's my Patronus. Yeah.
The horse.
There is a horse. Yes, there is a horse. That's correct. There's a spider horse. Yes. We see that at the very end clip where the guy's on the couch and he's getting the therapy and he's like, and then I look down and my uncle, and he's like, let me guess, he was dead. And then you see Miles bust through and all the Spider-Men chasing him, and one of them is a freaking horse. That's right.
Well,
and I guess that main poster too, if you look back behind Miles in that main poster, I guess you can see quite a few of the Spider-Men that are there as well.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And there's Miguel right up front.
Yep. Oh, there's the armored spider. I can see that one. The armored Spider-Man on the right. That silver armor that he had on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I only know this because it's a Bronze Age reference. Okay. Look to your left. Do you see the guy with the bag on his head?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So that is Peter Parker. His suit got wrecked. He had to borrow a suit from the Fantastic Four. This is back in the 80s.
Oh my God.
Johnny Storm gave him a suit, but of course he doesn't wear a mask. So they put a bag on his head while he's going across town with no shoes, by the way. He's just wearing a Fantastic Four suit and a bag on his head to keep his identity a secret. That's a deep cut. Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah. Stupendous. Yeah, I am not as familiar. I am a resident DC guy. I'm not going to lie. So I don't know all of these. Like there's Punk, obviously, on the right. Yep. There's Gwen that we've seen before. There's Miguel. Gwen. There's Scarlet. I don't know who that with the wig is on the upper right there. Not the upper right, but the lower right there. I don't know who that is. I can see the armored spider just in behind there with the silver on that. That's the manga Spider-Man. That's just above Punk on the right. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think I don't know, dude. There's a lot of them in there.
Is that Silk in the back there, or am I seeing something wrong?
Maybe.
It wouldn't shock me if we see Silk.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm surprised they haven't introduced Silk yet.
Yeah. But I mean, this is what I mean. Like the multiverse is there to service the story. It's not the story is there to service the multiverse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a plot element that's there to help with the characters and make the world interesting and everything else. It's not there to I don't know.
It makes everything canon.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's dope. I really like how they're doing it in this series. So hopefully it maintains that level. And I mean, Miles is clearly older now. Like he's aged up and a little sassy with his parents there, and you can tell they're trying to focus on like what Peter always struggled with was maintaining essentially like 3 lives, right? Like he's got to be like just himself, and then he's got to be the high school kid getting grades and taking pictures, and then he's got to be freaking Spider-Man. Like
getting sass from his mother for not doing good in Spanish class.
That's right.
You're making your Puerto Rican mother like sad. Like
yeah, I mean, I feel like Spider-Man always worked better as a kid. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of Spider-Man was to be a child, to have the kids relate to the comic book character, right? Before Spider-Man, all the comic book characters were adults. They were big, giant men, right?
Yeah.
And then along comes Spider-Man, who's a kid in school. All of a sudden, all the kids that are reading the comic books, they're seeing themselves in this character. For me, Spider-Man always worked better as a teenager. I think that's where that character needs to be. And I feel like Miles gives us a chance to redo Spider-Man as a teenager without just doing the same thing over and over again. Right? Yeah. That's what I feel like Miles and the Spider-Verse are giving us, is they're giving us a fresh look at Spider-Man with keeping into the spirit of who Spider-Man should be. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Can we talk about one of the best lines in that trailer? Miguel O'Hara yelling at Miles, saying that little nerd, Doctor Strange, and that little nerd on Earth 19999.
Yes.
So for those of the uninitiated, even though in Multiverse of Madness, Rachel says it's Earth 616, it's not. Earth 616 is the comic version of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
The cinematic universe is Marvel is Earth 19999. So he does make a direct reference to the MCU, Doctor Strange, and that little nerd that is Tom Holland. So that was very, very cool for them to sneak that in there and do that in such a way that they're acknowledging that it's there. Now, the real question here is, now that the reference has been made, does Tom Holland have some sort of a part to play in this film? Because apparently the plan was for him to have an appearance in the first film, but they cut it out. Not cut it out, but they cut it out of the script because they felt it would be too distracting. But especially after
No Way Home. Are we talking about an animated Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's not. No. Then it's not. If you're making an animated Tom Holland, then it's not Earth 1999 Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he would have to be in live action. No, because then that would just not make sense.
But he referenced it though, so clearly it exists.
Oh yeah,
it does. But other than in passing, I don't think there's going to be a. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, yes, they acknowledge that. Yes, this does exist, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Like, well, you got
Ed agrees. He thinks it will be a live action Tom. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's going to. I'm going to say it's going to be an animated one. I don't think this universe knows they're animated. Like they don't act like they're cartoons. They act like they're real people. We just happen to be viewing it in animation, right? So I don't. For
crying out loud, they've got Spider Ham.
Yeah, of course.
Peter
He's dropping anvils on guys, getting out mallets and shit. It's great.
No, I'd like to keep Tom Holland out of it. Just so it can exist as its own entity and not have to ride on, Tom Holland being the Spider-Man from the cinematic. That's my view. Like
No. I'm not disagreeing with you. I would like the same. I'm sick to death of Tom Holland. I don't want him in this film, but I have a nasty feeling he's going to be in it. Yeah.
He can still exist as, one of the thousands and thousands of Spider-Men that are like, in the back of the trailer or whatever the heck like that. But I don't think it's fair to Miles's story to bring him to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just because then it's taking away from his story, like you said. Like this is Miles' story.
Eric has a good point.
They went to an animated universe briefly, right?
Yeah. So Thor's Worthy is saying, unless he travels like in Doctor Strange when he went to the Paint universe, and that's a very good point. I still don't think that movie needs Tom Holland.
Oh, it does not. It absolutely does not.
That's the first thing, right?
Then if you're gonna do a live action, it's gonna look like Roger Rabbit or Cool.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be like if he's there. I think he's gonna be animated. I'm sorry, but that's just how it's going to be.
Actually, that's what Aaron is saying. So, funny enough, he's saying
make it like Roger Rabbit.
Make it like Roger Rabbit.
I don't think that would work very well.
No.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a one-off, like a post-credits thing, then I'm fine with it. If it's like a little nod in the post-credits. Cool, but I still don't think it works. I think if he's going to be in it, he's got to be animated, and it's got to be like something fleeting. It's got to be he says a line and he's gone. Like it can't be something big. It's got to be like just a small thing. You're having literally every other Spider-Man there. So maybe not. Do you bring in Toby and Andrew?
No.
Like
again, like it would just be like you see them in the mass amounts of. You recognize their costumes in the mass amount of like Spider-Man that there are, but again, I would not bring them to the forefront because then it's taking away. It's taking away.
But what if it's
you want to have Tom Holland in passing, standing in corner in live action form and laying on a
not live action. No. I'm talking.
But even if he is live action, right? I'm cool with that. I'm more cool with that than making him an actual character that's going to speak in the movie and have a part in the actual story. I don't want him to have a part in the story.
Okay. Yeah, like I would like for them like to acknowledge the other Spideys, but not have them be part of the storyline. Like be like, hey Spidey, or do the meme or whatever the heck, and then that be it. But
I am seeing a lot of chatter online wanting them to have a small something.
Well, it was the same.
I'm thinking about it, guys. You're literally bringing in every other Spider-Man that's ever existed, but you're specifically leaving these 3 out for whatever reason. So I think that's where it's coming from, is why people want to have it. And of course, after No Way Home, they saw how cool it would be to have the 3 of them. But I'm not saying make it like No Way Home, like Aaron's saying here. Quick 10-second gimmick. Cool. I'm fine with that. Not that I need it, but if they're going to do it, if it's something like that, I'm okay. You're right. I don't want them to be a main part of the story, but it would still, at this point, it would feel kind of weird to completely leave them out. No?
And even with No Way Home, everybody was like, oh my God, they're doing the multiverse thing. Like, are they going to bring in? So they basically like acknowledged the fans' wishes to have the other 2 Spider-Man in the thing.
Well,
they did.
They also made like $1.7 billion. So it's you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it wasn't a bad move, right?
No, it wasn't a bad move to make
doesn't
them
make
canon.
that money without those guys in it.
No, it wasn't a bad move to make them canon at this point. But even then, in that, why didn't they acknowledge Miles?
Well, technically, Miles's Aaron does appear in Homecoming. So Uncle Aaron. So his uncle does appear in there, and he references his nephew. So there is a direct reference to Miles. Just obviously, I would assume before. By the way, if this happens, this is great. Has anybody seen the 1970s Japanese Spider-Man?
No. Okay, I gotta look at this now.
Oh, do yourself a favor, kids. Check out Japanese Spider-Man live action. It's fantastic. He's got his suit's on a wrist brace, and it almost looks like Power Rangers-esque. He just throws the wrist brace out. The suit flies out of his wrist brace, and then the next shot he's wearing it. Yeah, that's Japanese Spider-Man. Check that out. That's awesome. And I would love to see, by the way, for us oldies, I'd love to see the Spider-Man from the Electric Company. If they could sneak that Spider-Man in there too somehow, that would be fantastic, right? I would take that. Right?
Wow.
Just little.
I don't think they're gonna. Those 3 are gonna be in it, just because I don't think they want to tie it to Marvel at all. And B, for me anyway, if they're bringing them in as animated versions, that feels like other versions and not them. But that's just for me. And anyway.
And I feel like if they brought in like Tobey Maguire, it's then everybody would expect, okay, is he going to do more? Because of the popularity that he's garnered and everything from his movies, then people are going to be like, why didn't he have a bigger part? I don't understand. This movie sucks now, blah, blah, blah.
None of this conversation takes place if they don't make a direct reference to the MCU in the fucking trailer. Like, you understand that's where it's all coming from, right?
100%.
And with the bonker success of No Way Home and how everything is multiversal now. Like, that's why the conversation's being had online.
Oh, yeah.
Why not the 70s TV live action Spider-Man 2? Well, they live action. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, get them all in there, man. You got 8 million of them in there now. You might as well throw a few more in there, even if they're only on screen for 4 seconds, right? Who cares? Anywho.
Well, if it's just going to be another suit, then yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you want to have the Tobey Maguire suit walking across.
Wow.
All 3 of them walking together, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You know what? Even that I'd be fine with.
Yeah.
I think they should have a small line, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No.
Totally fine.
You get Miles and you get Gwen to go start walking, and then you get like Toby coming towards us, and you do the whole meme with the looking back at like.
No, the distracted boyfriend meme.
Yeah. Only it would be Gwen looking back at Toby, going, "Hey,
how you doing?
How you doing?"
Guys, we've been on for an hour.
Yes, there's one more trailer to talk about.
There's one more trailer to talk about, and
we're gonna lose Brooke on this.
No, I watched the Blue Beetle trailer.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
there you go.
Talk about teenage superheroes.
Guys, if you've not seen the Blue Beetle trailer, go check it out.
Watch it.
Because it was also friggin' cool. Dope.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was not what I was expecting.
Like, what?
Yeah, not what I was expecting at all. This looks way better than I was expecting. Although we had already seen the suit, now that it's fully finished in CG and everything.
I like how the Scarab basically jumps on him like a flippin' face hugger for
I know. I can't believe they showed it to us in the trailer.
Yeah, and then just everything's growing right. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like... DC symbiote, basically.
Yeah, it's almost like slight body horror. I mean, there's some scenes that I was like, whoa, they're pushing it here a little. But
trying to keep the humor aspect.
And trying to keep the humor aspect, but the humor does come back.
Some Green Lantern vibes too. Not gonna lie.
Yes. Yep. Definitely.
When he makes that sword at the end, that very, very Green Lantern vibes. Like he's basically making a construct of whatever the suit literally says to him, I can make whatever you imagine. Make whatever you want. Exactly what the Green Lantern ring does.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that was dope.
Yeah.
He makes that sword, and then he friggin' swings
kind
it.
of busts in half.
Yeah. Now, if you're looking at this screenshot here of the actual trailer, you're gonna think, "Oh wow, this looks like a cheap 1990s cartoon," and it kind of does. But when it's moving, it looks dope.
Oh, it's sick.
I mean, as he starts learning to use the suit, you can tell his progression through the trailer, and that's that final scene. And
it's almost like he does, like, kind of the Iron Man thing where he's, learning the suit and learning how to work it and everything like that, especially with the whole going up to space and all of a sudden, let's go. Like,
everybody is saying it's no Hawk. Blue Beetle looks so good. Making everything. That sword's
dope. It's like katana on crack. It's amazing.
It's like a sword right out of like Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Buster Sword, like the base Buster Sword.
Yeah, especially for any of my folks that have watched Young Justice, especially I think it was the second season of Young Justice, where Blue Beetle.
Yes, season 2. Aaron, thanks for joining us, bud. Have a good one.
Dude. When Blue Beetle comes to the forefront and the Reach is invading and that.
No, is that
thing.
2 or 3?
No,
that is 2.
That is
2. Yeah, because 3 is the final season, right? Or is that 4?
I think 4 is the final season, which was
then
not
3
is
the season. 3 is the season where Blue Beetle is heavily featured.
With the Reach.
With the Reach.
This looks very reminiscent of that, as far as like how he came to be, how he got the scarab, how the suit looks, what he can do with it. It looks very reminiscent of that. So
even the suit looks almost identical to that show. The Young Justice? It was Young Justice.
Young Justice, yeah.
I'm trying to think it was Young Justice or Teen Titans, but it was Young Justice.
Young Justice. Yeah, for sure.
Yep, very much looking forward to that. And so here's where it gets weird. So even though James Gunn didn't have anything to do with this film, apparently this film, he's saying, is in his initial address at the end of January, he's saying that this film is part of the new DCU.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know how that exactly works. The timeline for all this DC stuff is getting weirder than the Fox X-Men timeline. Like, I don't really understand how it's all going to come together, because The Flash is supposed to be the reboot movie, but this is happening before that, and then Aquaman 2 is happening after that, and then they're both technically they were made pre James Gunn. So like, are they canon? Are they not canon? Who's staying? Who's going?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was just in Shazam. She's got a cameo in there, and young enough cast to fit into Gunn DCU. No, I get that, and that's a good point, Ed. But I mean, Gunn was pretty specific. Like, we're launching it with Superman Legacy. Creature Commandos is already part of it. All of this predates that, but in the same breath, he said that Blue Beetle would be part of. So I don't. I almost need like a primer. I need give me the Wikipedia article that's going to tell me what's going to be there.
You need more footnotes than you do to play Elden Ring, for Christ's sake.
I don't. I'm concerned. I am visibly concerned about
that. They're going into MCU territory where they're just trying to shove as much in your face and hope to heck that it sticks.
Well, that part I don't necessarily mind, because the DCU has been like the DCEU, I guess to say, DC movies, anything that's not Batman has been struggling essentially.
Absolutely.
Right? So they've kind of been doing that from the jump, just trying to see what will work and what won't. And some of it has worked brilliantly and some of it has worked terribly. So I get that part of it. They're not inundating us with 1 million shows and 8 movies a year. They're not marveling us. I don't feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I still need to know what's what. Like, if you're going to tell me that James Gunn, that you're going to connect everything, but then tell me that previous projects are somehow still going to connect, but it's before the Flash film, which is going to reboot everything, and some will stay and some will... What?
Yeah.
Is James Gunn just going to be on the side of the screen for all these movies going, this is canon, this is not, this will be like, what the fuck is going to go on?
So the beginning of the Flash is gonna like be the beginning of Star Wars, and they're gonna like have like the trailing like thing going on, so it gives you like a primer.
Man, yeah, these characters it will stay; these ones will go.
I was gonna say long time ago, and you see you far away. Like,
it's so frustrating.
I think this specific movie will depend on how well it does. If it's gonna get written into James Gunn's plans or not. And the only reason I think it's going to be possible is because it will have no ties to any other movie. It'll have no ties to Shazam. It'll have no ties to the DCEU. It'll have no ties to Wonder Woman or anybody.
Black Adam or anything like that. Yeah.
Nothing. And because of that, if it does well, Gunn may decide to say, you know what? We're going to keep that going. Right? The thing you got to remember about Flashpoint is not everything has to go and not everything needs to stay. Even though so far, everything after it's come out has been announced that it's going.
But as soon as they don't try to tie up, like, yes, there's going to be some loopholes and stuff like that, but if they don't tie up every single storyline in, like, this universe or whatever, people are just like,
yeah.
Like, even like Endgame, I can't remember what part. There's a part back in Endgame, and I'm like, how did this person find out this information? Like it didn't make sense to me. So it's like, huh? So, but that's me.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that for sure I think is for me one of the movies I'm the most interested in out of all the DC movies that have been announced or coming out in the next while. Aquaman 2, meh. The Flash, the Flash, I'm kind of excited to see Michael Keaton back, obviously, and the Batmobile and all that jazz. But
I got shivers down my spine when I heard that. I was like,
yeah, I'm not really all that excited about the movie itself, but Blue Beetle, yeah, this trailer has really got me jazzed up.
I will go see Flash just for Keaton, okay?
That's fair. They're banking on that, right? That's why he's so heavily featured in not only the trailer, but the poster and everything.
Exactly.
Right? There's literally the Batwing, the 1989 Batwing behind, Ezra Miller on the poster. So
yeah, the problem I'm finding though is you can always tell a movie that they're scared is going to do well when they overhype it and they like take a look at Black Adam, for Christ's sakes. They had The Rock in Toronto to promote the movie and everything. It did not do well. I watched it. It was an okay standalone movie, but I honestly didn't care one way or another about his character.
To me, it was a mistake that Shazam wasn't the one to go up against Black Adam instead of Hawkman and Dr. Fate and whoever the other two were. I don't even remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Adam Smasher and Cyclops.
Adam, yes.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where we're going to introduce you to this brand new possible superhero. He doesn't know he's
die.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, here's the group that are trying to stop him. You got to learn from these two guys too. Here's all their backstory. It's like, whoa, like ease up.
Yeah. As cool as Hawkman was,
yes,
I loved. They did him perfect.
Yeah,
I think. The movie
I like
just
Dr.
was
Fate.
meh.
Dr. Fate was good. Yeah, Ed Pierce was so epic. Yes, he was.
Pierce was very good. But Shazam should have been.
Yeah, that should have.
Yeah.
Apparently, the rumor is that was the plan, and a certain world's biggest movie star vetoed it. So he wanted the properties completely separate from each other. He did not want involvement, cross or otherwise, either him in the Shazam films or Shazam in his films.
Which is dumb because they're
it hurt both movies, no question.
That's why he's not getting a second film, and that's why he's not being part of the DCU anymore. Have fun with that.
Shazam 2 should have been Shazam versus Black Adam.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah, Black Adam should have been an entryway into Shazam 2, where the end goal is the fight between those two.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
So yeah, sorry, just really quickly back to because I just wanted to rewatch that really briefly thing, that the chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, the DC slate that James Gunn put out on YouTube. So I've literally just got it frozen with the the closed captioning on. So Blue Beetle is a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU. So he does mention Blue Beetle being a part of the DCU. Now, when is the release date of Blue Beetle? Is it? I'm saying it's pre, but is it post the Flash? Is it after the Flash?
Is it June or July? When the heck is Flash now? Ah, dang it. Okay, who's got a computer nearby? Right now.
Yeah. I'm looking it up. I should have it here in a second. August 18th. Yeah, it's coming out after the Flash.
It's out after the Flash.
Yeah, because the Flash is coming out next month, isn't it? Sorry, the Flash is in June.
The Flash is in June. Okay.
So the Blue Beetle is coming out after the Flash. Okay. So that would mean it would be, that only leaves Aquaman 2 part of the old guard after the Flash.
Right. Okay.
I'm surprised that they're not actually releasing them on the May 2/4 down in the States, because that's always the big weekend that they release films.
Mm-hmm.
And they've pushed it now to June, so...
It was originally supposed to be in May, was it not?
Probably.
I feel like it was.
Movie's
been in the can for a long time, and I think there was a lot of COVID shit that went on too. That they
deal
with and such.
The May 2/4 weekend in the States is always the big one. It's always May 2/4, Thanksgiving weekend, like Memorial Day weekend, everything like that. Those are the big movie weekends that they strive to have their big heavy hitters for summer and stuff like that out for. So they might miss the mark a little bit. It depends on what else is coming out. Like the only thing really that they have to deal with that we know so far is Guardians, but that's coming out like a whole month before Flash. So you'll have time for people to, watch, cry, reminisce, everything about Guardians, and then prep. So it might not be a bad thing that they've waited a bit longer.
A little concerned about Guardians, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm ready, but I'm so not ready. I'm ready to sob.
Well, I mean, if you're ready to stop, I mean, you're in the good spot, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the current Guardians, well, maybe not a lot, but some of the current Guardians, I think, are gonna die by the end of this movie.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that, but whatever, that's what it is.
This is it for the Guardians of the Galaxy, at least for this iteration. They may come back in 10, 15, 20 years as something else, but
multiverse.
But I think this is going to be the last of the Guardians that we're
for sure. Which, you know what, we've had them for 9 years, so it's a good run. They've been a part of many things, so you know what, let's, rather than just literally beat a dead rocket, let's just end it.
Yeah, because let's think about it. They've been part of this. So they have 2 of their own movies. They were in both Endgames. They were in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yep, for a brief period at the beginning. Yep.
Yeah, and now they're getting a 3rd movie.
Yep.
I mean, that's 6. They were in 6 movies. So
they've had a lot of screen time for ones that they weren't sure about Guardians to begin with, and then it proved to be a massive hit, and so they had to.
Guardians, they were like C-tier comic book characters,
exactly.
Right?
And the movie just exploded, and just that was one of those ones that just skyrocketed them to A tier.
That's that second film though. Oof.
Yeah. I
did not enjoy that second film. That's very close to Thor 2 for me, for my least favorite of the MCU films.
But the one thing,
by the way, I am the biggest Kurt Russell fan in the whole world, and even he wasn't enough to save that film for me. It's just oof.
The one thing I can respect about the second Guardians movie is that it can be a standalone movie. Like, you're not suddenly having Kurt Russell like, hey, look, I'm back. I'm part of the multiverse now. I'm coming back to do it in several. No, it can be a standalone movie. It doesn't.
It doesn't make it a good one, but it's certainly standalone. No, absolutely.
Trust, there was choices in that movie. Definitely choices.
Oof. Mm-hmm. Oof. Oof.
I didn't mind it. I appreciate it for what it is. How's that sound?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. And I mean, I'm the same.
Hey, man.
I mean, I watched
we had Megan on this channel arguing about how good Thor: The Dark World was, and we had to listen to that for way too long. So I get it. That's fine. We can all have our likes and dislikes.
I appreciated parts of that movie, not the whole thing, but parts.
I did too. What was the part I appreciated the most? When it ended.
Credits.
When it ended.
It was over.
Guys, we're gonna have to cut it off. I mean, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, because I talk too damn much.
No, that's okay. That's quite all right.
That's why we have you on.
Brooke, if people want to find you online, where can they find you at?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook under Shadowstorm. So SHDWSTRM, like basically Shadowstorm without the vowels. So that's how you can find me. Yeah, I've managed to land that on pretty much all the major social medias. So that's how you can find me. I'm mostly on Instagram though. So if you have any questions about my rocket build or just want to titty chat in general or whatever, by all means, shoot me a message and I will get back to you.
When's the next time you're going to be out in cosplay?
I actually leave next Friday to drive 8 hours north to Timmins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, Timmins Con up that way. So I'm going with Candy Cosplay and Angelic Luca Cosplay. So this is our 4th year doing it. Well, 4th year for me. But yeah, it's an 8-hour drive north. It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. It's at a curling arena, actually. It's kind of neat. So it's a nice little mining town. So the whole town literally comes out, like everybody comes out. It's one of the biggest events that they have up there. So, and I get to judge the costume contest and everything. So yeah.
Are we going to see you at London Comic Con?
I will try my. When is London?
Usually September, October-ish.
End of September, early October.
Yeah, usually.
Expo.
Yeah. I know.
A couple weeks after Fan Expo.
Yeah. So far, my work schedule has been good. I've managed to get almost every single con on my weekends off. So here's hoping. But I still have 3 weeks of vacation to take. So we'll see.
It is. No, that's not right. That's got to be London. That's going to be London.
That's the cool London, not
yeah.
Us.
Don't do MCM. That's London, England.
Well, that's weird.
September 16th is what our boy Keith is saying.
There we go. Thank you, Keith.
And I'm trying to think. That's the week after.
Yeah,
I'm off that weekend, so I'll be there.
Excellent. So 2 weeks after Fan Expo. Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff, any final words?
CK Expo on April 30th in Chatham, Kent. I will be hosting the cosplay contest. We have, like we've always done, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. This year, we're adding a group category. The cosplay contest is sponsored by Lens Mills and Lindy Cosplay Supply. So there are cash prizes for our winners as far as that goes.
Lindy's
friend
awesome.
of the channel, Ill Gotten Hugs, won the advanced category last year at CK Expo. And our friend editor Megan was in second place in the advance. So they both did very well. Congratulations, guys. Good job. So yes, I'll be hosting the cosplay contest there. Always a fantastic con. And then May the 4th in London, Ontario, Canada, the Geeks and Company proudly presents.
My lightsaber's not there.
That's all right. May the 4th be with you on London.
Mine's there.
In London at the London Brewing Cooperative, 521 Berwick Place. Reach out to any of us, any of the Geeks & Co. team, and we are happy to give you any details that you might have missed from the podcast. It is a free event running from 3 until 9. There will be games, there'll be trivia, there'll be music, there'll be prizes, there'll be raffles, there'll be stickers, there'll be photo ops, there'll be all kinds of really cool stuff to participate in. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th, London, Ontario. It's free. Be there, be square, have fun. That's what I've got coming up. What about you, JS?
Anybody watch? Well, I mean, same thing. Minus CK Expo. I'm not going to get CK Expo, but May the 4th. I mean, I'm in full swing right now, building my updated Revan. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
For those watching, if you are coming to May the 4th, Star Wars Day at London Brewery Co-op, let us know. Especially if you're going to be dressing up, right? We want to know who's coming. We want to get as many people there as possible. It's going to be an amazing time. Shoot us a quick DM if you're going to be there and joining us. I mean, I think that's it, bro. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
No problem. Hope I didn't pester you too much with my babbling about all my nerdiness.
Listen, if you weren't able to talk, we wouldn't be having you on. So there you go. There you go.
That's one thing I can do is talk.
Yes. Next week. Oh, I don't have the form up. I don't think we have anybody scheduled for next week.
Is it just you and I?
I think it might just be me and you.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe we can see if we can get Rob or Megan or maybe even producer Jen on. I feel like we need a top 10. We haven't done a top 10 in a while.
Good idea. Good
tier list.
Maybe we need to do
a top 10. We'll
we
bandy some ideas.
One. Find a good top 10. So check back with us, guys.
Yeah.
I think next week's going to be another of our famous top 10 lists.
Yep, that everybody hates.
But I think that's going to be it for this week.
Good old tier lists.
Make sure you stay geeky, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss anything.